very long.
Yeah. Some guys get bored.
And that is evident by the amount of coaching stops that man has had.
Sure.
And the duration of those coaching stops that he has had.
And I think it's fair to say that you can be mildly successful or wildly successful and rub people the wrong way, which read what you want to.
I don't
kind of felt like what happened with Matt Rule and Mike Eckler.
It's not necessarily rubbing people the wrong way. It's that you just have a personality that is difficult to mesh with because it doesn't have a lot of mesh points because your personality moves in so many directions so quickly, which is Mike Eckler. Like,
yeah,
that guy is like a constant ball of motion. And
just watch him on the sideline.
Like, and from what you saw from Brett Maher, vastly different personality.
He seemed very wide-eyed and bushy-tailed a little bit yesterday. And again, hasn't been in a lot of situations where he's been talking at the podium, even in his playing career, despite the success he had. The one thing that he made that it felt like he made an emphasis to point out was he talked about the emphasis that Matt Rule has on special teams, which I'm sure Matt Rule is very happy he said in that little nugget, but I'm sure he was not very happy that he said that he didn't see this even as a possibility 3 years ago. And I think it's really important to point out, listen, I think Brett Maher is going to do a fantastic job at this position. But I think it's really important to point out the Garrett McGuire of it all, where Matt Rule hired a wide receivers coach that didn't appear to be ready for the position yet.
Yeah, and 17.
I was going to make a worse joke, but we'll go with 17. But it's probably one of those things that we talk about this a lot, the hire and the tall coach when you fire the small coach conversation. You hired a very seasoned, experienced special teams coordinator. Now you run it a guy that's never done the job before. And
yes,
if special teams takes a major step back, that's going to be the caveat.
But you might have exchanged experience for not much experience. But to your point, tall coach, small coach, you fired
the Energizer Bunny.
Well, I like he is human caffeine.
Yeah.
For someone who is far less energetic and willing to fly off the rails at a moment's notice, right? Like, I think to some degree, Brett Maher is the personality antithesis to Mike Eckler.
Sure.
As much as he is the experience antithesis, his personality is much different as well.
I don't know. For whatever reason, anytime the Matt Rule, Mike Eckler discussion,
the punch
happens,
in the arm.
The first thing that pops in my head is that moment for Matt Rule where he just talked about, well, he punched me the other day and I told him not to. But he said that Brett Maher said that he felt like this was the tail end of his playing career when he got into coaching and his expectations for coaching weren't necessarily like aspirations to become a special teams coordinator or didn't know how long he even wanted to do what he was doing in Lincoln when he was asked to. But for anybody that's coached, I think this probably resonates because I know it did with me, is that moment when you start to see it click for guys.
Yeah.
Is the catch-all moment. If you could bottle that up and sell it, you'd become a billionaire tomorrow. It's I can explain this to somebody and they can do it at a high clip thing.
Well, what's interesting is that the special teams coordinator traditionally has not been someone who comes from the kicking world. It's somebody who comes from the defensive world more often than not.
Yeah.
Just for what that's worth, you'll usually have one of your specialized assistants who will be a kicking specialist, and your special teams coordinator is more of a defense oriented, will also help coach a position on defense. This is sort of new territory. I can't think of another former kicker who went on to be an actual special teams coordinator.
Which is why I think that he brought up the scheme and his want to work with that side of things. And because he talked about, we want to take the stuff that worked here last year because there was a lot of stuff that worked really well. And there's some stuff that didn't. I mean, and a lot of that was with the specialists, which I thought was interesting why he brought that up, is we want to take what worked last year because it clearly worked and improve that with our own little spin on it.
Well,
listen, if they could improve it from last year, I mean, Brett Maher's probably going to get himself a nice fat raise at the end of the next
I'll tell you what, John Hole came in and just settled down all of the anxiety about kicking the football.
Yeah.
Because the
Kyle
last
Cunanan too.
Cunanan, I suppose is the right answer for that.
Yeah.
I was more referring to the kickoffs, but
sure.
The place kicking as well. You could put it there, because I think if you looked at in the past few years, like kicking off, just being the kickoff guy has to be one of the simplest jobs in football.
Should be.
Go out there, kick it as hard as you can.
Keep it between a 54-yard pad.
Right.
Yeah.
And look, there were periods of time before last year where Nebraska couldn't execute that appropriately.
Well, and to duplicate that, like the thing that I'm most concerned about that was maybe the biggest miracle of the special teams fix of it all was it was not even 4 years ago where Nebraska was fair catching every kickoff because they literally couldn't field a punt. Now, if we get back into that territory, there's a lot of people losing their job at the end of the season.
Yeah, I mean, I wonder what this means for the return game, because like obviously you would feel like, as far as directional kicking and kicking to maximize coverage and those sorts of things, you'd think Brett Maher would have a pretty good grasp on that.
Yeah,
right? He would have to understand those things. It's the other side of it where I have questions.
Yeah, which
like
is
how
where
much
Nebraska's biggest struggles were.
How much do you understand the punt return game and the kick return game?
Well, and he brought that up, that specifically about the other side of Archie Wilson, which I think a lot of got lost kind of later in the season because of how porous the end of the year went. There was a lot of talk in the offseason and the spring about the other aspects of Archie Wilson other than kicking a banana ball or being ambidextrous with his feet and be able to kick to both sides. And the rugby style punts we were told, great arm, elite runner. We did not see him throw or run a football one time last season. And there was also a lot of times where Nebraska was punting the football where they were fourth and very long. So because of the sack problems and the inability to run the football outside of Emmett Johnson, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So that it kind of makes sense. But it's very weird that this coaching staff really hones in on one guy's skill set about certain things and talks about it a lot. And then we just never see that come to fruition.
Yeah, we do get those milk carton moments where it's just like, what happened to this guy? And look, I think Archie Wilson was fully serviceable as a punter. He had some really good punts. He was exceptional at pinning teams back. He was really good at that. I think there were times where you would have liked to seen a little more distance out of his punts. Like he left a few short. I think that I think the overall leg strength was a little disappointing. The accuracy and the ability to pin
pretty good
was really good.
Yeah.
So the other stuff I think is auxiliary and maybe
which it should be for his position.
Yeah. Maybe the opportunity just didn't present itself or whatever. But and then you think about Mike Eckler also as being like an ultra aggressive special teams coach. That's what you would categorize him
personality.
His personality would lead you to categorize him that. Nebraska wasn't super aggressive on special teams.
Sure.
They just weren't.
And you have to wonder, and a guy that Brett Maher was specifically asked about yesterday was the long snapping situation, and he was specifically asked about Jack Wilson, like stud. Yeah. Immediate reaction was he's a stud. He talked about the lack of depth behind him, but they have some other guys that could fill in there. But you have to wonder the long snapping issues and the other issues around them if that's the reason why they didn't feel comfortable maybe rolling Archie Wilson out on a run or inability to block downfield, which was the whole conversation about the offseason anyway. But it will be interesting if that is more of an implication this year, Archie Wilson's ability with the football outside of his feet, if that is a Brett Maher thing, that's more of a Matt Rule decision, or where that falls in it.
Yeah, I think it's just a question of the overall aggressiveness of how are they going to approach those situations and how many times are we going to run a fake?
Sure. Which, by the way, I don't want them to do a ton.
No. Will we see a fake field goal? Will we see a fake punt? Will those things go well? Will it work? So, I think it's overall just a question of aggression.
We also heard from Corey Brown yesterday. We'll get his what he had to say as well on the other side. If you missed the opening segment tonight, check it out on our radio replay page at 1620thezone.com. It was brought to you by Aloe Fiber. I made the switch 2 years ago to Aloe Fiber. You know what I haven't seen in 2 years? A blue circle on my TV screen. Zero buffering with my all fiber network right up to my house. I don't have to share my bandwidth with my neighbors. When my kids jump on their iPads or my wife's streaming Real Housewives of whatever, I don't have to worry about sharing my network inside my house because I have an all fiber gig directly into my home. If you have any of those problems with buffering or slow internet speed or Greg down the street just keep stealing your bandwidth, head over to aloefiber.com/Husker Radio. Sign up for the official TV, internet, and mobile provider of the Huskers. It's Aloe Fiber. We'll be right back on the other side of the break, giving you our thoughts on the defensive line coaching staff here on 1620 Zone.
Hey, everybody, it's John here for Jerry Ryan Clothing and Sportswear, located at 78th and Dodge, right in the heart of Omaha. You probably drive by it every single day, and if you haven't stopped in yet, my question to you is why? We've been telling you about the great things you can get at Jerry Ryan for so long. We have told you about our love here in the studio for all of the Johnny O gear that they have in stock on a regular basis. I've got a quarter zip. I've got a polo. It is just good stuff. I've also got a Johnny O long sleeve pocket tee that I love to just wear around the house. It's so comfortable. I'm telling you, you got to get in there. You got to check this stuff out. Check out all the great brands that they have in stock, including the Brax pants, which are professional looking, but also comfortable. Plus, they've got the Horn Legend stuff in stock now with Creighton logos on it. You need to see that. It looks amazing. Wedding season around the corner. Don't rent, buy, own it, keep it forever. It can be yours if you go to 78th and Dodge to Jerry Ryan Clothing and Sportswear, dressing Omaha for over 50 years.
Weather from KETV Newswatch 7 is brought to you on 1620 The Zone by Certified Transmission.
Mostly clear and cooling off tonight, a low temperature near 32. Mostly sunny, breezy, and very warm Friday with a high close to 70. And then back to highs in the 40s on Saturday. I'm Chief Meteorologist Bill Ranby from KETV Newswatch 7.
Criminal, civil, personal. If you or a loved one is facing a lawsuit, let Williams Law represent you and your family today. With more than 20 years litigation experience in Nebraska, Williams Law will defend you with the dedication you deserve. If you're facing a DUI or if your son or daughter has been accused of a crime, Williams Law is here for you. Call 402-522-6317 to get a free, no-obligation consultation and to get the representation you deserve today.
If you're looking for an authentic Italian experience, look no further than Pasta Amore. For 4 decades, Pasta Amore has been keeping the spark alive for couples in the Omaha area with their homemade pasta, made fresh every day. Our hand-picked selection of exceptional wines will put the nightcap on your evening that you expect. Open every day at 4. Stop by Pasta Amore in Rockbrook Village and enjoy dining in the romantic dining room or relax on our shaded patio.
Life is unpredictable, with seasonal storms and plumbing issues hiding around every corner. You can't predict the future. So when life happens, go with a trusted, reputable company like Paul Davis Restoration. Fire, water, mold, or storm damage can all be restored by Paul Davis Restoration. Don't live in the aftermath of tragedy. Restore your home today. Call Paul Davis Restoration at 402-553-0373 today.
Winter may slow pests down, but it's the perfect time to prepare your home for spring. Rodents, spiders, and other pests often show up indoors this time of year. A winter pest control checkup helps seal entry points now so you're not dealing with pests when warmer weather hits. At Recon Pest Services, we're proud to be a local company and supporting causes that make Omaha better. If you're looking for a pest control partner or even support for a cause, think Recon. Visit reconpestservices.com and get your home ready for a pest-free spring.
The real game changer in college athletics, it's coaches. And at Bellevue University, there is an experienced team of coaches who know you both as an athlete and as a person. Plus, there are student coach advisors who are there to provide individualized academic support every step of the way as you progress towards your degree. At Bellevue University, you're not just another athlete. You belong. We're for you and for college sports. Visit BUBruins.com.
If your brand isn't generating you business, well, it's losing. That's where Sign Ovation steps in. We help Omaha businesses win the visibility game with bold storefront signs and vehicle decals that turn your ride into a rolling billboard. Your brand should be working, even when you're not. Driving impressions, creating leads, and bringing customers through the door. Stop riding the bench. Put your brand in the game. Visit OmahaSignsAndWraps.com tonight. That's OmahaSignsAndWraps.com. Sign Ovation, where brands show up and win.
AX Plumbing has the cold weather deals. So if your hot water isn't so hot anymore, you can't afford to pass up on these deals. Tankless water heaters are $450 off. Traditional water heaters are $200 off. And for those real hard water problems, water softeners are $300 off. Stop by AXP Service tonight and fix your water heater before it gets too cold outside. AX Plumbing. We'll leave your home or your business cleaner than we found it.
At Woodhouse Lincoln, enjoy 0% APR for 48 months or 2.9% APR for 60 months on the 2026 Lincoln Nautilus. With approved credit, must finance with Lincoln Automotive Financial Services. $299 doc fee due at signing. Offer expires March 31st, 2026. See dealer for details.
With UBT, you've got total control over your money. Like Doug, who runs his game day tailgate like a well-oiled machine.
I got burgers, brats, chicken, dogs, plus all the fixins'. And with the UBT Go app, I can track my food spending from anywhere.
Pro move.
They don't call me Grill Sergeant for nothing.
No matter your goals, UBT helps you feel good about reaching them. Union Bank and Trust. Member FDIC.
Now back to After Hours with Jimmy Allen on 1620 The Zone.
6:21 on a Thursday night here on 1620 The Zone, brought to you by Bellevue University. If you're looking for the ideal college experience, head over to bellevue.edu, register for classes. No classes on Friday. The majority of your schooling done online. Live sports right on your campus. Check out bellevue.edu for more details. Tonight, the Underwear Olympics are on. Arvell Reese from Ohio State just ran a 4.53 in Indianapolis at the Combine. Linebacker day is upon us.
Oh, Jacob Rodriguez is up next. Let's see what he does.
Future cop, Jacob Rodriguez.
Yeah, that mustache is
just
too
based off the
legit
mustache
to quit. We were talking about the press conferences with the Nebraska coaches. We talked about what Brett Maher had to say. I was really impressed with Corey Brown and the way he handled that room. Obviously, he's been at a million different coaching places, has had a ton of success. You want to speak English and I can just answer what you're asking me to?
Yeah, the show rundown.
Oh, I thought I sent it to you. I'm sorry. Just the way he handled the room, and the way he just had the right answer for just about every question. I say just about because I'm trying to think of one that he didn't have the best possible answer for. He seems like a guy that's going to be a player's coach through and through, and when he just talks, you could find it easy to respect him and the way he's coaching. He mentioned repping things and the importance as a talent and just coming in and going through the development process with guys, and the fact that it takes more than just two guys to get the job done. Now, I don't think that was a reference to Ty and Nash. I know this is the second segment where I mentioned something a coach said and said I don't think it was a reference to, but I see how it could be taken that way. But he talked about the importance of getting guys ready, and I think it was more of a conversation about Owen Stoudemire and Jazier Witten, who he hadn't been asked about yet, because he probably went in there with the understanding that those are the two portal guys with the most clout that are coming in. But he talked about Riley Van Poppel, and he talked about Tyson Terry. I was like, I almost called him Nash Hutmacher. I'm like, that's not it. And he's talking about Tyson Terry and those guys.
Similar look.
Yeah, but they talked about he talked about
4-time state wrestling champs.
Yeah. He
Blondes.
You see how I got there.
Giants.
He talked openly about some of Riley Van Poppel's shortcomings and some of the stuff that he wants to work on with not just Tyson but the rest of those guys. And he's like, Riley needs to work on that. We need to pay attention to details. He didn't go in there and sugarcoat everything. He went in there and gave an open and honest assessment of where they were, said that the concentration was lacking a little bit in the first couple of days, and that's something they need to work on. But it wasn't like this guy is doing that wrong. It was, hey, we've already identified, and I think this more than any other of the coaches that we heard talk, he identified the problem and gave you a nuance on how to fix it. which I don't know if there's a coach in Lincoln right now that I've seen do that or address it in that manner.
Yeah, defensive line coach is interesting because, 2 years ago when you had Pork Chop, it was like
everybody was great.
Everything was good. Every player who came off the bench was holding their own.
Yeah.
The 2 starters were outstanding.
Yeah.
And then last year, you got a somewhat inexperienced position coach.
Well, very inexperienced.
He'd been an assistant D-line coach at the NFL level, so not totally inexperienced.
Sure.
He'd been around a little bit.
Donovan Raiola was also an assistant offensive line coach.
And then, guys who had maybe had some success under the prior regime seemed to fall off.
Yeah.
And you wonder, were they just better as guys who filled in spots, came off the bench, and weren't that kind of player that was ready to take a starting spot?
Yep.
Or was it the position coach who was not necessarily teaching it the same way, who wasn't getting them ready in the same way?
And it may not even be that. Like, maybe Corey Brown more than Terry Braden has the knack to see what are you doing, but why are you doing it that way and fix it? Because whether it be Tyson Terry or whether it be Riley Van Poppel or either one of the transfers, and he talked about the little nuances about what they're correcting about their game. He talked about Van Poppel's hand placement and the violence in which he's using his hand and the authority he uses when he's pushing. And then we talked about Tyson. He just talked about, his footwork and the things that he needs to get up to speed with. So maybe not the teaching aspect of it, but identifying why or what you're doing that is incorrect or how to fix that is really where those position coaches make their money at. It's not teaching the technique. It's finding what you do and correcting it to be in line with what they're expecting.
I think it is also about identifying strengths and weaknesses of each player and getting them in the game and making those suggestions to the defensive coordinator of saying, like, all right, here's when we need to use this guy. Here's when we need to use this guy because this one's good at this. This one's good at this. It is as much talent identification as it is coaching. And look, there's no shortage of the teaching aspect of it. Right?
Sure.
You have to be an elite teacher to be a good position coach. But you also need to be good at identifying situationally who your best players are for that given situation. And I think at times, maybe Terry Braden wasn't the best at that. Right? Because we how many times did we see just the inability to have a body in the right place on a run play? Sure. And is that teaching technique? Is that not having the right personnel in the game? Is it
scheme?
Is it the overall wrong scheme? Who knows? But something was wrong with the defensive line last season. And I'll be interested to see how that changes. And it may not be totally evident and totally translatable, given that the entire defensive system is changing.
Yeah, and I think that's important to point out too. Is listen, I think Terry Braden is not the defensive line coach at Nebraska for a reason, and he, I think him being asked to move on was with cause. But I also think it's important to point out you had 3 other former defensive line coaches and 4 former defensive coordinators on that staff last season, and they couldn't get it figured out either.
Yeah,
and I also think it's important to point out that if this defense looks miles better this year, it may not just be as simple as the 3-3-5
versus the 4-2-5
versus the 4-2-5. It may be the guys that are explaining how to do things and understanding of the scheme they want to run.
The Jimmies and Joes, not the X's and O's.
More in a sense that I don't know. It didn't really feel like John Butler was ever in love with running the 3-3-5, and Rob Orch seems very confident in his scheme. And that goes a long, long way. Somebody we can ask about that is Brian Munson from Husker Online and On 3. He's going to join us next week. Come back on After Hours. If you missed any of this segment, check it out on our radio replay page on 1620thezone.com. It was brought to you by our friends at Timber Wood Fire Bistro. Are you hungry right now? Is your tum-tum growling? We have the solution for you. Stop by 87th and Pacific at Timber Wood Fire Bistro. Try my personal favorite pizza of all time. It's the Timber Pie. It's the perfect combination of savory, sweet, cheese, and deliciousness. Stop inside Timber Wood Fire Bistro and tell them After Hours sent you. tonight. We'll be right back. Brian Munson from Husker Online on 3 joins us next on 1620 Zone.
Hey, everybody. John Schreiner here for Bob at Williams Law. How's your legal situation currently? Are you facing anything? Criminal, civil, personal? Everything in order? If it's not, you're going to need some advice, and you're going to need good advice from somebody who has your best interest at heart. Not TikTok, not anything on social media. Don't call your Uncle Chuck for legal advice. He doesn't know. Bob knows. He's going to sit down with you for a free, no obligation legal consultation. That's where you don't have to pay him, and you get to talk to him and explain your situation. Make sure that Bob's the right one to work with for you and your specific legal issue. He'll get you ready for your big day in court, and he might even end up being your friend like he is right here on the After Hours Lounge. You got legal questions? You need Bob in your corner. Check out WilliamsLawLLC.com.
Hey, Jays fans, it's hoop season, and you know what that means. Jerry Ryan has the best selection in town for all things Creighton gear. Stop by Jerry Ryan at 78th and Dodge for your quarter zips in all shades of Jays blue, plus jackets, vests, winter coats, you name it. They have it. Multiple Jays options for men and women from Peter Millar, Cutter and Buck, and Johnny O. Stop by Jerry Ryan Clothing and dress like the coaches do.
At Jerry Ryan's, we bring out the best in you.
Are you dreaming of your business dominating local Google searches, drawing in customers effortlessly? Look no further. I'm Courtney, the Google gal from Pixel Fire Marketing. Need assistance with your Google business profile? From verification to getting more reviews, fixing maps to tackling annoying Google calls? I've got you covered. Your profile sets you apart and ensures you're the top choice for local customers. Visit fixmygbp.com for our $297 special offer. Visit fixmygbp.com for more details.
When you shop local, you help strengthen our community. So if you need roof repair, gutters, siding, even windows, call local Pyramid Contractors. They're the #1 roofer in Omaha for more than a dozen years. Let Pyramid Contractors come and give you a free estimate. Give them a call at 402-502-9300. That's 402-502-9300. Or visit them online at
PyramidRoof.com. Never settle for less.
Winter may slow pests down, but it's the perfect time to prepare your home for spring. Rodents, spiders, and other pests often show up indoors this time of year. A winter pest control checkup helps seal entry points now so you're not dealing with pests when warmer weather hits. At Recon Pest Services, we're proud to be a local company and supporting causes that make Omaha better. If you're looking for a pest control partner or even support for a cause, think Recon. Visit reconpestservices.com and get your home ready for a pest-free spring.
Are you ready for the game changer of the day? Bellevue University has a new state-of-the-art 72,000 square foot field house featuring premium courts, generous fan seating, top-tier locker rooms, dedicated athletic training, and a strength and conditioning space, plus a whole lot more. It's not just a venue, it's a home court advantage. We're for you and for college sports. Visit BUBruins.com.
Criminal, civil, personal. If you or a loved one is facing a lawsuit, let Williams Law represent you and your family today. With more than 20 years litigation experience in Nebraska, Williams Law will defend you with the dedication you deserve. If you're facing a DUI or if your son or daughter has been accused of a crime, Williams Law is here for you. Call 402-522-6317 to get a free, no-obligation consultation and to get the representation you deserve today.
Find your next SUV from Woodhouse Chevy. It's the perfect time to upgrade your drive with limited time offers available now. Lease the 2026 Chevy Traverse for $579 a month for 39 months, 10,000 miles per year, or save up to $4,000 off MSRP. Shop online or in-store today. Woodhouse Chevy. Together, let's drive. With approved credit, retired courtesy loan, tax title license extra. First payment and $299 doc fee due at signing. Must trade a 2011 or newer vehicle. Finance based upon available rebates. Must be current Costco member. Expires March 31st, 2026. See dealer for details.
Omaha Mavericks Hockey hosts Miami of Ohio this weekend at Baxter Arena, and you can listen to all the action on News Talk 1290 Coil. It's UNO versus Miami of Ohio on your home for Mavericks Hockey, News Talk 1290 Coil.
I'm Omaha Athletic Director Adrian Dow, and I want to introduce you to 3 Omaha schools that are playing a vital role in keeping our community strong. We serve nearly 600 pre-K through 8th grade students, most of whom come from disadvantaged neighborhoods. These students receive a values-based education with the family support they need. I'm a proud member of the CUES Fund Board, which supports the CUES school system. To learn more, go to CUES Schools, that's CUES schools.org.
Hi, I'm Ryan Blaney, a third-generation race car driver, and we dedicate a lot of our time to going as fast as possible. My grandpa Lou is the reason why my dad and I started racing, and I'm really proud to follow in his tracks. But when my grandpa was diagnosed with Alzheimer's, it was a very unexpected bump in the road for us. I've learned a lot on this journey with my grandpa Lou, and the memories of my grandpa will always be with me. It's important to notice if older family members are acting differently, experiencing problems with their memory, or having trouble with routine tasks. Talking about Alzheimer's can be really tough, but if you notice something, have a conversation with your loved one. Encourage them to see a doctor or offer to go with them. Early detection of Alzheimer's can give your family time to explore support services, make a plan for the future, and access available treatments. The Alzheimer's Association provides care, support, and research to help you take control of the situation with your family and manage the disease together. If you or your family are noticing changes, it could be Alzheimer's. Talk about seeing a doctor together. Visit alz.org/time to talk. A message from the Alzheimer's Association and the Ad Council.
Now back to After Hours with Jimmy Allen on 1620 The Zone.
6:35 on a Thursday night here at 1620 The Zone, brought to you by Bellevue University. Download the BU Bruins app to your smartphone tonight. Keep up to date on all the championship action happening on Bellevue's campus. Man, we haven't talked to in a few weeks. It's Brian Munson from Husker Online on the B Munts. How you doing, buddy?
It's been a long time.
We don't got to get into details. Everything go all right with what we talked about last week?
Oh yeah,
Okay.
no, back is intact.
There you go.
Kind of an odd situation. So moving out of
Yeah.
one building and into right next door, like to the other building.
Yeah, but
So
you
I don't
move
know.
a lot of weight, so you're fine.
Dude. I'm just getting off of surgery though.
Oh, that's right. I forgot about that.
Yeah, so I was a little bit more in management, people leading that weekend, so it wasn't bad, but I
Sure.
did move around a little bit of stuff.
Hey, we opened up the show tonight talking about Brett Maher and his impact on the special teams this season, and we talked about the difference in the personality between Brett Maher and Mike Eckler. Do you think that played a role in that decision to keep him on in that role because of the difference in his personality from what Mike Eckler was?
I if it does, I mean, I wouldn't get too caught up in that. I mean, there's maybe a very, very small percentage. I mean, I think several people like myself caught, Mike Eckler trying to be very emotional and, congratulatory to Coach Rule on the sideline several times this last season. And Rule just was not having it, not having it at all. Eckler he's a spark plug. He is absolutely a guy that lives on emotion. Maher, way more direct. I think that obviously there's got to be something a little bit more appealing. I think that also Rule has had a chance to kind of see it now for a while out of Maher, and Maher got a chance to kind of understudy, however you want to put it, get mentored by Eckler for a season last year. So he kind of understands it a little bit more. I mean, I think special teams coordinators are I think it really gets overlooked massively when it comes to what those guys do, what they get to work with, their 20-minute practice period, getting to work with the whole entire team. I think that they have a lot of things that they are always kicking the tires on when it comes to personnel and stuff like that. So I think that's what makes Eckler special. And I hope that Maher got a little chance to see behind the curtain, last year, and maybe then a little bit more, dialed down a little bit on the sideline, and which probably Coach Rule would appreciate a little bit, but I think everybody knows what you were getting when Eckler returned to Nebraska. I, for one, did. I liked it, but obviously it's not something that connects every time.
Do you feel like there was one side that won the Twitter beef between Rule and Eckler?
No, not really. Maybe just call it a draw. I think everything's fine there. I really wished that Eckler would have been able to stick it out for whatever reason. He decided to go ahead and leave. But say what you will about both sides. I think obviously there's a little bit of an airing of the grievances with one another, and leave it at that. I think honestly, I think everybody now understands how important it is to have that solid special teams coordinator in a better, third unit out there when it comes to the special team side. I can't begin to tell you like how many games, obviously before Eckler showed up, that it feels like Nebraska, if they had just a little bit better coaching or were a little bit better prepared in that area, they win 2 or 3 games the season before. So yeah, I think it obviously now puts an emphasis on that, and people should remember, what happens when you get a premier elite kind of special teams coordinator, there with your team.
Well, let's talk about some recruiting stuff rather than high school hallway drama for a little bit. I wanted to ask you about this for a while. And I always forget to, Brian, but there's all these athletic measurements that we've had over the years, right? There was the Spark ratings that we went by for a while, and that went away, and then now there's the CAT testing, which you see posted a lot about. How much stock do you put in those kinds of things? What are coaches that you're hearing from, recruits? How much do we put in these athletic measurements or these scoring systems?
It's an indicator, right? I mean, I'm watching kind of a recap right now on the NFL Network when it comes to the NFL Combine or today, and Sonny Styles from Ohio
447.
Yeah,
we have it on studio.
He's an athletic looking dude. I remember a guy called Mike Mamula. They got drafted by the Philadelphia Eagles, Boston College guy. And just a workout warrior kind of dude. And when you get a couple of those guys up that obviously take 2 or 3 months out of their preparation to get ready for this stuff, they can just flat out look like something different and just be all athletic. Now I think with the Spark guys and the high school guys, it's probably a little less prepared. It's more of a natural indicator, I think, of athleticism. Not that I'm going to sit there and tell you that Styles doesn't have natural athleticism. Dude jumped 43.5. I mean, give me a break. So I think that there's an indicator. I don't think people get totally lost on it. I think track times are important. I think, in talking to a D1 coach before about like what makes, guys special, like when they go to a high school, they're looking for leadership. They're looking for toughness. They're looking for a guy that doesn't need to go sit out when he's bumped and bruised, but a guy that sucks it up and drives on and doesn't want to come off the football field, when he's bleeding out his eyeballs even. There's definitely a different take on it, but I know toughness. I know the leadership side is a big thing. I know obviously that the academics, you got to be there, personality. You don't want to have like a bit of a cancer in the locker room, but yeah, I think it's an athleticism indicator, but I think the track time is still going to be something that's just going to pop a little bit better, because you can have guys that just are going to naturally test a little bit better, but the film doesn't lie, and I think that track time still is very important.
There used to be a time where if the number one safety in a class was visiting Lincoln, it would be the top headline on every news source around the country. But the transfer portal has kind of dulled that down a little bit. Giovanni Tuggle, the number one safety in the 2028 class, is scheduled to visit Nebraska next week. How much does this coaching staff seem to be putting into the high school ranks? We know about the Trey Taylor and the 2027 class of it all, but does it seem like they're still putting more of an emphasis on the high school ranks maybe than some of their peers?
Well, I mean, if that was the case, then Oregon wouldn't have like the top rated class, and neither would Texas Tech, and you wouldn't have these guys, putting the money there. But I think that Nebraska is, I think they're trying to be serious in both sides. I know the argument. I mean, there are people on Red Sea Scrolls every day, it seems, that tell me about how high school recruiting is dead. I don't agree. I don't agree with that at all. I look at high school recruiting like the combine, and then I look at portal guys kind of like free agency. And you've got to have an organic way, but that's where you've got to be like terrific when it comes to your development. So you can't bring in 4 and 5 star guys, or even guys that you feel like are value guys, 3-star or whatever, and you're going to, develop these guys and hopefully get them on the football field. You got to make sure you've got like tremendous ways to develop them and make sure they get into your system and you can do a good job. I mean, otherwise you're spinning your wheels. And then you should be 100% into the portal. And that's all you should be focusing on. So you've got to have a great process when it comes to bringing these high school guys in. They've got to understand and they've got to develop. So I think Nebraska is going about it the right way. I think that you have to be strong in both areas. If people didn't agree with that, USC wouldn't be leading in, team rankings. Indiana, Oregon, Alabama, those guys are still, bringing home great players on both sides. I think you have to have all things covered when it comes to your roster.
We saw last year a guy like Jet Tamala at Millard South take that step forward.
Mm-hmm.
You guys had him finish at a 96 and just outside of the 5-star ranking. He was given a 5-star ranking by some of the other publications around the country. When Trey Taylor comes in as one of the highest rated quarterback recruits in that 27 class to a school like Millard South, could you see him being one of those guys that doesn't have a 5th star next to him right now, but maybe finishing the end of the year with one?
You certainly hope so. I mean, I think that Tamala is what's unusual about. I think there's two storylines with Tamala, and I'll say the first one is that, and I think people are going to keep a close eye on it. He wasn't committed to Nebraska, and he ascended in the rankings. I think people have got a theory that whenever a recruit commits to Nebraska, they tend to fall. So that's the first thing. But I think the second thing is I think that typically, I think you're not going to find guys that are just going to all of a sudden have like these huge rising type of seasons and go up the rankings and add stars and just be outside the 5-star, ranking. I think that really blew apart some stereotypes about Nebraska football. I think it also, it showed that you got this top end guy in Tamala, obviously, that was a terrific player, and obviously it balanced out with him on the national scene. Trey Taylor is going to be great on the national scene. He understands what it's like to have to go out there and perform in that. He does it at the 7-on-7. He does it on the various combines. He's done it at the various camps. I think that part there is going to be perfect for him. But I just, from my perspective right now, having to change high schools and realistically kind of playing more of a hand, like trying to get ready to be at Nebraska in the fall versus or in the spring versus like whatever you're doing right now when it comes to this fall. I think I would be very interested to kind of see how that's all taken. I think that this process is definitely interesting, that he's coming in early and living in Lincoln and driving into Millard South every single day. But I think a lot of people are going to have their eyes on this to see how things are going to kind of work for him and how well he does just with his one fall there at Millard South.
Brian, what is the importance of this spring period in terms of recruiting right now for where the coaching staffs are?
Well, those guys back on campus right now that you feel like are at the top of your list when it comes to the 2027. This is the day in the life, looking behind the scenes, getting comfortable with your position coach, spending time with your coordinator, spending time with your head coach, getting a chance to kind of see the players, talk to the players, understand how they really feel about the coaching staff and about Nebraska in general. And then I think the other side is that you are going to see these underclassmen, the 2028s, that are going to get there. I think I mentioned it in my 3 and out. I said I think the spring game is massive. That you're getting back that kind of recruiting tool because we didn't have it last year, and there was a big kind of a letdown for those guys that would have been basically where you're trying to build up the relationship, and you didn't have that way to kind of put a bow on the spring and then look towards summer camps and trying to get them back, in the fall. There just seemed to be this kind of gap between, I think, where they were really at within their timelines and trying to figure things out. And whenever you have those gaps, it allows other schools to step in and just be completely and totally disruptive for whatever it is you're trying to build with a person. When you can't get them on campus, it really hurts. I mean, and that's really where Nebraska does important and great things when it comes to recruiting. You've got to get those guys on campus. So springtime here, 2027 is a day in the life, a lot of stuff working behind the scenes, and 2028's doing the same thing, but really that spring game is going to be big and building a relationship.
Brian Munson from Husker Online on 3 join us here on After. One last one to get you out of here, obviously, outside of Nebraska news. Jason, any part of you surprised that Dayton Raiola also ended up at Oregon?
No. In fact, I said it from the very beginning that was going to end up there. I had heard for a little while that there was potentially another team in play. I'll just go ahead and say who it is. I don't really care. I'd heard Boise State potentially was another team that was in play, but I just don't think Boise State had the interest there, to kind of take him as a quarterback. And as you see, he ends up as a tight end. I'd almost say as an athlete there at Oregon, along with brother. So I'm not surprised at all. I think it does kind of fly in the face maybe a little bit from the decommitment and, not needing brother around to kind of pave the way. He did follow his brother to Eugene. I'm not picking on it. I think Dayton's a great kid. I think they're both great kids. I wish him nothing but the best, but it just didn't. It never seemed to add up for me.
That's Brian Munson from Husker Online and on 3.
Hey, Brian, I don't know if you heard the news, but this is my last week on the show, so I just wanted to say I really appreciate you coming on with us all these times. It's been great to talk recruiting with you. It's been a lot of fun, and I'm going to miss our chats, man.
Oh, man, I tell you what, I am disappointed to hear that. And I had such a great time getting a chance to get in the studio with you the once or twice that I got a chance to do that. And best of luck to you in future endeavors. And we'll stay in touch.
All right, man.
That's Brian Munson from Husker Online and on 3. Check out his work at Brian Munson _ on Twitter or subscribe to HuskerOnline.com today. Munson, we appreciate it. I'll catch up with you next week.
Later, guys.
See ya. If you missed Brian's segment, check it out on our radio replay page at 1620thezone.com. It was brought to you by Controlled Comfort Heating and Air. It's it's spring outside in a couple of weeks. If you're worried about clicking on your air conditioner when it starts to warm up outside, head over to controlledcomfort.com. Let one of their comfort experts come into your house, diagnose the problem with your HVAC. They're not going to try to upsell you anything. They don't want to sell you a new air conditioner if you don't need it. It could be your thermostat that's giving you problems. There are a lot of problems other than big dollar items that is not going to be an upsell from Controlled Comfort. Head over to controlledcomfort.com. Get a maintenance appointment tonight. We'll be right back. What's trending on social media? We come back at 1620 Zone. Hey, everybody, it's Jimmy Allen here for Recon Pest Control. We had 2 other pest companies come out to our house, and they tried their best, and they sprayed our yard to try to get rid of our insect problem. It wasn't resolved. We called Recon Pest Control. They came out the next day. They sprayed one time. That's it. Came out once, problem gone. If you want that level of service at your house, head over to reconpestservices.com. Work with them tonight.
Hey, Jays fans, it's hoop season, and you know what that means. Jerry Ryan has the best selection in town for all things Creighton gear. Stop by Jerry Ryan at 78th and Dodge for your quarter zips in all shades of Jays blue, plus jackets, vests, winter coats, you name it. They have it. Multiple Jays options for men and women from Peter Millar, Cutter and Buck, and Johnny O. Stop by Jerry Ryan Clothing and dress like the coaches do.
At Jerry Ryan's, we bring out the best in you.
When you shop local, you help strengthen our community. So if you need roof repair, gutters, siding, even windows, call local Pyramid Contractors. They're the #1 roofer in Omaha for more than a dozen years. Let Pyramid Contractors come and give you a free estimate. Give them a call at 402-502-9300. That's 402-502-9300. Or visit them online at
PyramidRoof.com. Never settle for less.
At Timber, they don't just give you a place to go for lunch or dinner. They give you an experience. From their bold, smoky flavors prepared in the open concept kitchen where you get to watch the magic happen to the relaxing umbrella-shaded patio. There's something for everyone at Timber. Join them for brunch every Saturday and Sunday from 9:30 to 2, plus happy hour from 2 to 5:30 Monday through Saturday, and 2 to close on Sunday. Timberwood Fire Bistro in the heart of Omaha at 84th and Pacific.
Hey, wouldn't it be great if life came with a remote control? You know, you could hit pause when you needed to, or hit rewind. Like that time you knocked down that wasp's nest. Uh-oh. Or that time you forgot to roll up your windows in the car wash.
Fantastic.
Yeah, a remote control would have come in handy then. Well, life doesn't always give you time to change the outcome, but prediabetes does. With early diagnosis and a few healthy changes like managing your weight, getting active, stopping smoking, and eating healthier, you can stop prediabetes before it leads to type 2 diabetes. It's easy to learn your risk. Take the 1-minute test today at doihaveprediabetes.org. Life doesn't come with a remote control. Yikes! So you're on your own with the wasps. You have the power to take control of prediabetes. Visit doihaveprediabetes.org today. That's doihaveprediabetes.org. Brought to you by the Ad Council and its Prediabetes Awareness Partners.
Diet Coke Cherry is making a return, and Chesterman Coca-Cola is bringing the flavor back to Omaha. Find Diet Coke Cherry 12 packs right now at Hy-Vee, stacked high on pallet displays and end caps. Just in time for the big show. That crisp Diet Coke taste with a bold cherry twist. Perfect for game night, family night, or anytime you want something refreshing without the sugar. But don't wait. This is a Hy-Vee customer favorite, so get yours today.
Criminal, civil, personal. If you or a loved one is facing a lawsuit, let Williams Law represent you and your family today. With more than 20 years litigation experience in Nebraska, Williams Law will defend you with the dedication you deserve. If you're facing a DUI or if your son or daughter has been accused of a crime, Williams Law is here for you. Call 402-522-6317 to get a free, no-obligation consultation and to get the representation you deserve today.
My name's Stephen Butler, and I own Controlled Comfort, and we've been in business for 6 decades, and in those 6 decades, I like to think that everything we do is about the art of comfort. It's about the skill of our people, but it's also about the integrity, because at the end of the day, I value my employees, so they value you, and that's really all this is about. If you get cold this winter, think about us. We'll come help you out. We'll get you out of bind. It'll be fair, it'll be fast, and it'll be the right price.
Control Comfort keeps it under control.
Hi, I'm AJ, an AmeriCorps program leader serving with International Council for Refugees and Immigrants. AmeriCorps is about strengthening our communities. I've been impacted the most by the personal growth our members experience and how it relates to building stronger communities through service and empathy to grow something bigger and better. AmeriCorps does that for people. Visit serve.nebraska.gov.
Paid for by Serve Nebraska, aired with the Nebraska Broadcasters Association and this station.
Save up to $3,250 off MSRP, plus 0.9% APR for 36 months on the 2026 Buick Enclave. Woodhouse Buick GMC. We are professional grade. With approved credit, must finance with GM Financial. $299 doc fee due at signing. Offer applies to select stock numbers. Offer expires March 31st, 2026. See dealer for details.
Short on cash? Get 2 weeks free this month. Furniture, appliances, electronics, or even tires today. And no credit is needed at Ace Rent to Own.
Ace Rent to Own, where we make friends.
You are listening to After Hours with Jimmy Allen on 1620 The Zone.
Top of the end of the first hour, excuse me. 1620 The Zone.
Where
Here,
am I?
brought to you by Bellevue University.
Brian Munson, famously
Talks
good
a
at talking.
lot, yeah.
And thorough.
Also,
It's the appropriate word, thorough.
did I mention we're brought to you by Bellevue University? I think I said that.
You did.
In case we didn't, we're brought to you by Bellevue University.
Download the BU Bruins app today.
Yeah, I'm just a little off my game right now because I think we buried the lead. Something different about this room that hasn't been addressed until this very minute. Where are your headphones at?
Oh, they're not.
He didn't bring them.
I didn't bring them today.
Whose are those?
They're the spare pair.
Oh, okay.
That we have in the drawer.
We're gonna need those on Monday for our special guest fill-in co-host.
Guest host.
We haven't announced it. We'll announce that tomorrow.
I'll write that on my brain over here.
Yeah. One thing that I swear this was not planned and we did not mean to do it this way, that I did not realize. Tomorrow, as John just alluded to, anybody, captain, the rest of the night shift, just apparently getting filled in on the tomorrow is John's.
Were you not listening on Monday?
Last show. Do you know what tomorrow also is?
No.
Tomorrow is episode 1000
of
After.
the show.
Is it really?
Hours. Yeah.
Holy
mackerel.
I just checked my count. You can't. Hollywood couldn't have wrote a better script.
Couldn't have done it.
Dan Campion, it's time for the social media sound.
It is indeed.
And John Schreiner leaving after hours is not trending
yet.
It could.
Yet.
Don't let us stop you.
No, unfortunately, John Schreiner leaving is not trending.
Might be tomorrow.
But after all of that exciting news, I have to ask you guys a question. Put yourselves in a head coach's shoes. Do you think that being in the combine would be
They're probably more expensive shoes?
being
than
at the
mine.
combine would be extremely fun and interesting?
Yeah, sure. Why not?
If I was a head coach?
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
So Dan.
We will be retweeting that clip from the After Hours account here at this
Is he sleeping?
very moment. Yes, Aaron Glenn is very much not looking on because before they switched over to that camera, he had his head on his hand and his eyes were closed and he looked very calm. Seemed like a staffer next to him might have given him the old whack on the leg to say, "Hey, Aaron, you gotta wake up."
You wanna open your eyes. Listen, being an NFL head coach is very taxing. A lot of long hours, especially when you're trying to rebuild a program like the Jets. It's a bad look.
Okay.
It's not good.
Here's the thing. Like, I think being at the combine for a head coach is important for the interviews.
Yeah.
Getting to know actually watching someone run a 40 or watching them do the on-field workouts, utterly useless.
You watch it every day at practice.
Right.
Yeah.
You're not gonna learn anything more than what you have already learned by watching them play the game on film, which you have already done by this point. So actually sitting in the stands and watching, unless you are an absolute nerd about the game, it's probably not necessary.
Just go back to your hotel room, man.
Sitting in on the interviews, yes, absolutely. You need to find out the personality traits about the people that you're considering drafting. Watching someone run a 40 is pointless. You don't need to do that.
So that's what I was going to say sort of the same thing because it looks to me like it would be very boring from the vantage point that these coaches always get. Because Jim Irsay and the Irsay family, rest in peace to Jim, obviously.
He was not at the combine.
Are nice enough to give the Indianapolis Colts Stadium as the area for the combine. And they always put all...
Do you not know the name of the Colts Stadium?
Lucas Oil Field Stadium.
All right.
The 2010 men's NCAA Final Four was held there. I was in attendance for that.
Were you? I didn't know that.
It was very fun. I have a picture with Raymond Felton in his jersey.
Random.
Raymond Felton is out of the jersey. But they make them sit up in the boxes
where it's very comfortable.
The rich folks sit where it is very comfortable, but you're so far away from the field. So it is probably hard to watch all of these guys actually perform the workouts.
Did you see him run? He looks smooth.
I'm about to fall asleep in this chair right now talking about the combine. I love the draft.
It's hot.
Yeah, it's really warm.
I
can't believe you still have that quarter zip on.
I like
it's about
to
to be
see
popped.
the results of the combine. I don't need to watch it.
Yeah.
It's
I don't
on
know.
because it's on, and we have to be in this room.
But I think about it like this. I remember the first time I stood next to Ryan Kalkbrenner.
Yeah.
And I was like, I am very much not 7'1". And then like I was talking to it about it with Casey Matthews, who hosts the Roll Jays podcast with me. And he's like, I'm around tall people so much that I just often forget what it's like for people that aren't around tall people all the time. And I was like, it's just not normal to be around a 7'1" person.
Yeah.
But I mean, for these coaches, they see guys run 4.4s every day. This is not nothing new to them.
And like watching someone run, does it matter? Like, honestly,
like they're not racing each other.
No, but even if they were, like, do you need to know what it looks like when he runs, or do you need to know how fast he is? Because what it looks like when you
Probably
run,
a combination of both,
doesn't really matter. Can you get there or can you not?
I mean, I think it's a combination of you go to the combine, you watch these guys. Obviously, your assistants probably are more or less doing the watching on the field of these drills and of these 40 times and all this stuff.
But yeah.
But after that process, you say, all right, we've got a list of 10, 20 names at each position, and here are the guys that we should focus on, and here's who we should get more tape on and watch more of.
Here's the problem that I
would assume.
Here's the problem I have, though. It's not like this is year 8 of Aaron Glenn in New York, and they've got an established franchise with an identity, and they know what their team's going to be. This is your first head coaching job. This is your first combine in the NFL as a head coach. You couldn't stay awake from this? Second year. Sorry, yeah.
Second, yeah.
Yeah.
Apparently not.
No, this is his first. This is his first year the Jets head coach, right?
No, it's his second year
He
as
was
the Jets head coach.
Was
last year. I don't know if they hired him before or after the combine. I'm pretty sure it was before.
Yeah, it had to have been before.
They hired him like right after the season because I remember that was the big Detroit
okay.
Lions.
You know what? Then
shakeup.
I retract my for some odd reason I thought he just got hired. First, I retract my statement. I'd fall asleep too.
I mean,
it's fine.
It's not like watching the things happen on the field are not that important. Getting the numbers from it, sure. Getting like sitting in and being in the interview, yes. Watching the drills, I don't know.
Yeah, I'm ready to take a nap watching it myself. Hey, if you missed the first hour of the After Hours Lounge, take a look at it. Don't fall asleep. Stay awake. Listen to it at our radio replay page at 1620thezone.com. It was brought to you by Pixel Fire Marketing. Does your business need help with social media marketing? Do you post every day? Do you want an entire team to do it for you so you don't have to worry about it? Head over to pixelfiremarketing.com today. Not only will they post for you, they'll post ads online that convert to sales. How do I know they do it for me in my day business as well? Head over to pixelfiremarketing.com. Let Dan and his crew help you convert your advertising to sales tonight. We'll be right back. Buying and selling on 1620 Zone. Hey, everybody, it's Jimmy Allen here for AX Plumbing. Home or residential, they can do it all. They've done it for me. They've installed a urinal at my business. They've come out and they've replaced the wax ring underneath the toilet in my house as well. If you have big-time plumbing problems, but not a big-time plumbing budget, head over to axpservice.com tonight where there's financing available on the website. Let Nick and the crew get your big-time plumbing issues fixed tonight.
When you shop local, you help strengthen our community. So if you need roof repair, gutters, siding, even windows, call local Pyramid Contractors. They're the #1 roofer in Omaha for more than a dozen years. Let Pyramid Contractors come and give you a free estimate. Give them a call at 402-502-9300. That's 402-502-9300. Or visit them online at
PyramidRoof.com. Never settle for less.
Life is unpredictable, with seasonal storms and plumbing issues hiding around every corner. You can't predict the future. So when life happens, go with a trusted, reputable company like Paul Davis Restoration. Fire, water, mold, or storm damage can all be restored by Paul Davis Restoration. Don't live in the aftermath of tragedy. Restore your home today. Call Paul Davis Restoration at 402-553-0373 today.
Ready to make a positive impact in a young boy's life? Join Big Brothers Big Sisters of the Midlands and become a mentor where you are matched up with a boy in the greater Omaha area. Over 50 boys are waiting for someone like you to guide and inspire them. Visit mentoromaha.org and sign up to make a difference in a boy's life. Don't wait. Make a lasting impact today.
The real game changer in college athletics, it's coaches. And at Bellevue University, there is an experienced team of coaches who know you both as an athlete and as a person. Plus, there are student coach advisors who are there to provide individualized academic support every step of the way as you progress towards your degree. At Bellevue University, you're not just another athlete. You belong. We're for you and for college sports. Visit BUBruins.com.
AX Plumbing has the cold weather deals. So if your hot water isn't so hot anymore, you can't afford to pass up on these deals. Tankless water heaters are $450 off. Traditional water heaters are $200 off. And for those real hard water problems, water softeners are $300 off. Stop by AXP Service tonight and fix your water heater before it gets too cold outside. AX Plumbing. We'll leave your home or your business cleaner than we found it.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
Jeff's day is off to a slow start. So he heads to AutoZone, America's #1 battery destination, where Sammy, a local AutoZoner, tests his battery for free. Looks like he just needs a charge. And Sammy does that for free too. In no time at all, Jeff is back on the road, ready to finish the day strong. Free battery testing and charging at every store. No hassles, just help.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
Restrictions apply.
If you or anyone you care about is facing a family legal matter, call Cordell and Cordell today at 1-855-GET-LEGAL or visit CordellCordell.com to schedule your consultation.
There's a lot on the line in divorce. This is Joe Cordell of Cordell & Cordell, the largest family law firm in the country, with over 35 years of helping clients navigate divorce. But being big doesn't mean less personal or less local. Our attorneys live and work in your community, and as neighbors, they understand the challenges your families face. Divorce touches all areas of your life: your home, savings, retirement, and of course, kids. So when you find yourself facing divorce, you need a partner you can count on. Visit CordellCordell.com to schedule your consultation.
If you or anyone you care about is facing divorce, contact Cordell and Cordell today. With over 100,000 clients served, we understand the challenges you're facing on a personal level. Call Cordell and Cordell today at 1-855-GET-LEGAL. That's 1-855-GET-LEGAL. 13340 California, Omaha.
Find your safe, reliable, all-wheel drive vehicle now at Baxter Subaru during the Subaru A Lot to Love event. Shop our great selection of new Subaru models. Plus, only at Baxter Subaru will you never pay a dock fee. Get started at BaxterSubaruLaVista.com.
KOZ and Bellevue, Omaha, Council Bluffs. This is 1620, The Zone.
Did you know there was a Burlsworth trophy?
I do now, which is kind of surprising that it's been brought up around here. That's the top walk-on in the country or the top player in the country that started as a walk-on.
Who's ever won the Burlsworth trophy?
I have not. Dan?
I have no clue, but that movie that's about Brian Burlsworth.
I know who Brian Burlsworth is. I just didn't know.
It's a great movie. I especially like that that one guy with the white hair who famously is losing out on Hollywood roles because he won't kiss anyone other than his wife.
Austin Davis, Matt McGloin, Jared Aberderis, Baker Mayfield.
Did you forget that Jared Aberderis was a walk-on? They told you every 4 minutes.
Baker Mayfield is a 2-time winner of the Burlsworth
People
trophy.
forget.
He's walked on a lot.
Luke Falk, Hunter Renfro.
Nice.
Stetson Bennett.
Stetson Bennett was a walk-on?
Yeah, you didn't know that?
No, I did not.
You know what people never forget?
Drew Mestemaker was your 2025 winner of the Burlsworth Trophy. Burlsworth Trophy honors the nation's top player who started his career as a walk-on.
You know what people don't forget? That Dan Campen is the keeper of buy or sell, which is what we're doing now. Dan, what do you got for us?
People never forget that I'm the keeper of buy or sell, Jimmy.
What I just said.
We're going to talk about rules. The NCAA Football Oversight Committee is looking to protect the transfer window. If you accept a transfer outside of the official window, you'll be fined 20% of your football revenue, 5 roster spots the following season, and the coaches will be prohibited from doing the main tenets of their jobs for 6 games, aka attending meetings and actually coaching on the sidelines. Buy or sell, there is any chance of enforcement of these rules.
They haven't been able to enforce anything up until this point, so what makes you believe they're going to be able to do this? I sell. Tampering's not a thing. the reason you can't enforce tampering rules or laws at this point is because they're dealing with the agents and not the players anyway, which would prevent the agent from doing their job, which will result in another lawsuit. This will never fly.
Those penalties are way too stiff.
I also agree with that.
And it'll never it's egregious. There's no way. Like, this is not happening. Absolute sell.
Number one, there's no way that this is going to be enforced because this is the easiest thing to work around. We've mentioned it before. All a player has to do is unenroll from their current school and re-enroll at the next school at any point in time. And hey, look, they didn't actually use the transfer window. They transferred schools like a normal person would.
Yeah, that's the other problem with this is the athletic calendar doesn't match up with the academic calendar.
Yeah.
So that's why they're not going to be able to uphold it. But does Brendan Sorsby show him by herself?
No.
Okay, well then I'll talk about it because the other side of this is that Cincinnati is suing Brendan Sorsby in an attempt to get $1 million back for him transferring out of the university. So that could be another can of worms.
Based on apparently a prior agreement that they had.
Yeah, it better be in writing, otherwise it ain't going to work.
Right.
Yeah, Dan.
Next up, another rule, also on the rules front in the NCAA, uniforms. The new proposal would require players to cover their legs from the top of their socks to the bottoms of their pants. According to the NCAA Rules Committee, this is for the fans because it's confusing when not everyone looks the same. Buy or sell, this isn't for the fans and is just a true flex of the power of the NCAA.
I sell because this is somebody that is bored that's trying to make it look like they actually do something at their job trying to enforce
What would
something.
you say you do here?
Do we not also realize that not all the same teams look the exact same because their uniforms are different?
I don't know what the hell this is, man.
This is somebody that just became a manager of something that is trying to prove that they deserve their job.
Like, I understand talking about like having the pants have to come down below the knees so that the knee pads actually do a thing.
Yeah, that's a safety thing.
Right. That makes sense to me. Telling players that they can't show their ankles. Like, what are we doing? Are we playing Puritan football now?
Yeah.
Like, is that what this is?
Yeah, make sure you cover up their tattoos too while we're at it.
Did Granny faint because she saw somebody's ankle? Like, what happened? I don't know what this is. I don't know what we're doing. I don't know what problem we're trying to solve with this.
Maybe
what is the problem?
Housewives are becoming too desperate from the athletes showing their ankles off.
This is literally bringing me back to the days of high school when your coach would bring you socks and you would be like, we bought socks for the entire team. These go over your calf and underneath your pants. If they don't stay up, get some athletic tape and tape them above your calf.
Yeah, and that was
because it has to look the same.
That was a Mount Michael thing. That did not happen over in Omaha South.
They didn't buy us anything.
What else you got, Dan?
Oh, so much more. The combine is upon us, and that means trade rumors are abound.
Yes, they are.
The most rumored, Mr. A.J. Brown. According to Mike Vrabel, the press is on. Buy or sell, A.J. Brown finds a new home before the start of next season.
This is just a common theme on the years the Eagles don't win the Super Bowl. There's just bad vibes around that franchise.
Yeah, even in years when they do.
Yeah, this is a continuing trend. And typically in situations like this, that player's gone. So I'm going to buy.
It doesn't seem like A.J. Brown likes it in Philadelphia, and it doesn't seem like
A.J. Brown likes A.J.
being in
likes Jalen
Philadelphia
Hurts.
likes A.J. Brown.
Yeah.
It's like there is a lot of smoke for there not to be any fire underneath this thing.
Agreed.
I think he's gone.
Yeah, just for how many times his name has come up over like the past year and a half, I think at this point he's the little bit of a scorned lover and he wants to get out of Philadelphia as soon as he can, mainly because he's not seeing the ball as much. Both of our national hockey teams have gold medals, famously, and they've also been all over the news lately. The men's team has made their trip, and it seems like the women have theirs lined up now as well. Buy or sell, if you were the U.S. women's national hockey team, you too would go to Las Vegas to party with Flavor Flav.
Oh, I have not heard about this. This is a thing.
Yes, he after the White House invitation came down for both teams, women's national team denies it due to scheduling conflicts, as is their right. Flavor Flav put out, hey, I would love to have the women's national team come out to Las Vegas and I'll throw you a party and we'll do something fun. And apparently the women's national team has said, that actually sounds pretty cool. Flavor Flav, We should go and do that.
Pat McAfee just famously paid for the bar tab for the men's team. So, yeah, I mean, whatever. Good for them.
Is Flavor Flav going to give me a big clock to wear around my neck?
What was the bar?
Actually, yes.
What was the bar sell question?
If you were in the U.S. women's national team shoes, are you going to Vegas to party with Flavor Flav?
Skates. Yeah, they wear skates, Dan.
Off the ice, they wear shoes.
I don't know
famously.
if there's anything that could make me go hang out with Flavor Flav. I'm good.
Is he picking up the tab? I'm probably going.
I'm good. You know me. I love Vegas.
Yeah, why not?
I don't know if I'm going to hang out with Flav.
If I was on the U.S. women's national team, Flavor Flav famously, and this is like the weirdest character trait of Flavor Flav, and to say that about
Flavor Flav, not Flavor Flav.
I am a
Flavor Ice.
I am a white man in Middle America. That is how I pronounce his name. Just like he is 50 Cent and not 50.
Just telling you're incorrect, but go ahead.
Flavor Flav, out of all of his odd character traits that he has, is the biggest supporter of the U.S. women's national hockey team.
Did you also drink Flavor Aid, Dan?
I do. So yes, I would go and party with Flavor Flav.
Cool.
It'd be very cool. And
I think I would pay money to see Dan Campen and hang out with Flavor Flav. Go ahead.
It'd be great.
It
Last
really would.
but not
That's
least,
the thing that would get you to go hang out with Flavor Flav.
If Dan was there.
Theme nights. Sometimes they're fun ways to honor local businesses or even the history of your great city or state that you live in. And the Atlanta Hawks, well, they've got a new one coming at you. Magic City Monday. On March 16th, the Atlanta Hawks are going to have special hoodies, are going to have the club's famous wings, plus a live podcast with Mr. Magic, the owner of Magic City, and Atlanta trap rap superstar T.I. Buy or sell.
Speaking of 50 Cent.
Buy or sell, this might backfire in the more family-friendly circles.
Strip clubs and family-friendly. I will buy that this will probably be problematic for the family-friendly atmosphere if the NBA still try to do that.
I'll tell you what, the Southern Baptist Convention is going to be pissed.
Not wrong about that.
So I understand from a cultural landscape of Atlanta why this is like a great idea for the culture that is Atlanta and the hip hop culture around Atlanta.
What do you do?
This would be important.
Just have T.I. be there.
But it seems like a weird thing to be like, we're going to embrace Magic City Monday and like just put it out there on Front Street.
Although
my question is, how does the TV network feel about this?
Pac-Man Jones did say it ain't no sin to go to the script club.
That's true. My question is, how do the TV networks feel about this? I mean, and
Roger say he don't want me in the script club.
What all does Magic City Monday?
I was just being rebellion.
So it literally sounds like they're just doing hoodies, wings, and then they're doing like a special Hawks Talk podcast.
That's fine. Do that. That's great. There's not strippers involved. I mean, it's a win-win for everybody.
Ask me why I have that entire Pac-Man Jones answer memorized.
Because it was on a loop on SportsCenter for like 6 months. All right, Dan, what else we got?
That's it. That was 5 questions.
No Anthony Richardson questions?
No, I thought
you want me to bring that up? I'll just do it. So Anthony,
I thought we were going to go to like more NFL stuff later down the line.
We're going to talk
script club.
Script club?
Strip club conversations are over. Anthony Richardson's on the trading block in Indianapolis.
Yeah.
There's no way he's getting more value than a 7th round pick here, right?
I'll give you half a bag of M&Ms and toenail clippings from last week.
And
you want some chips?
No,
I famously said on this radio station and on Twitter that Anthony Richardson would be the biggest reach and failure in NFL draft history. Number 5.
It's just hard to go above and beyond Jamarcus Russell.
I don't think so, because he was almost consensus the number 1 overall pick. So it wasn't like he was a reach. There were a lot of people that had a lot of question marks about Anthony Richardson. I mean, it wasn't like he was consensus top 5 and he went number 5. And honestly, I think.
What about Trey Lance?
I was going to say, but the caveat to that is, I think the only other reach is Trey Lance, but he was considered to be a top 3 quarterback in that draft. And my stupid team took him and traded up for it.
I mean, look, there have been just so many quarterback reclamation projects recently that it's hard to sit here and throw somebody in the trash after 3 years and even 2 years in the league. I just don't see it with Anthony Richardson. I don't. It doesn't seem to be there. Like, he has all the physical ability and raw talent in the world. Something's missing, and I don't know what it is.
Doesn't mean he can't fix it either. I just don't see it happen. We're going to catch up with John Walker from the Omaha World Herald and get his thoughts on Creighton's loss to DePaul. The rest of the season. What does next season look like for Alan Huss and Greg McDermott? Could both of them be at different schools? The rumor mill is afoot. We'll get his thoughts on all that and more. If you missed this segment, check it out on our Radio Replay page on 1620thezone.com. It was brought to you by Controlled Comfort Heating and Air. It's going to start warming up, getting even hotter than the 60 degrees we saw today. Are you worried about turning your air conditioner on? If you haven't done it in a while, last time you did, it made a weird sound. You need a maintenance appointment set up. Head over to controlledcomfort.com. Let Tony and the team come out, diagnose the issue, find out what's going wrong, explain how they're going to fix it, not upsell you on anything, just give you peace of mind about your HVAC this winter. Head over to controlledcomfort.com tonight. We'll be right back. John Walker from the Omaha World Herald, 1620 Zone. Hey, everybody, it's Jimmy Allen here for Allo Fiber. Made the switch 2 years ago to Allo. We had this problem with our previous internet provider where our Wi-Fi was down in our downstairs living room, and we couldn't get connection in our upstairs bedroom. We have not had that problem since we switched to Allo. You know why? We have an all-fiber network that comes straight up to our house. We don't have to subsidize or worry about our bandwidth being taken up by anybody else, not even our kids. When they hop on their iPad, we can share the network without any issues because we have an entire gig right up to our house. If you want service like that you can count on when it comes to family time, head over to allofiber.com/Husker Radio. Get out of the Stone Age tonight.
Weather from KETV Newswatch 7 is brought to you on 1620 The Zone by Certified Transmission.
Mostly clear and cooling off tonight, a low temperature near 32. Mostly sunny, breezy, and very warm Friday with a high close to 70. And then back to highs in the 40s on Saturday. I'm Chief Meteorologist Bill Ranby from KETV Newswatch 7.
When you shop local, you help strengthen our community. So if you need roof repair, gutters, siding, even windows, call local Pyramid Contractors. They're the #1 roofer in Omaha for more than a dozen years. Let Pyramid Contractors come and give you a free estimate. Give them a call at 402-502-9300. That's 402-502-9300. Or visit them online at
PyramidRoof.com. Never settle for less.
Rail Cars Happy Hour is here. Stop by 144th and Blondo Monday through Saturday from 2:30 p.m. to 6 p.m. and Sunday from 2 to close, and enjoy $2 to $5 off appetizers, $1 off draft and bottles of beer, and delicious ciders. All signature cocktails are $10. Classic cocktails are $8. And every glass of wine is $2 off. Plus, Rail Cars' incredible brunch menu is on display 9:30 to 2 Saturday and Sunday. Rail Car Modern American Kitchen, 144th and Blondo.
Life is unpredictable. With seasonal storms and plumbing issues hiding around every corner, you can't predict the future. So when life happens, go with a trusted, reputable company like Paul Davis Restoration. Fire, water, mold, or storm damage can all be restored by Paul Davis Restoration. Don't live in the aftermath of tragedy. Restore your home today. Call Paul Davis Restoration at 402-553-0373 today.
Are you ready for the game changer of the day? Bellevue University has a new state-of-the-art 72,000 square foot field house featuring premium courts, generous fan seating, top-tier locker rooms, dedicated athletic training, and a strength and conditioning space, plus a whole lot more. It's not just a venue, it's a home court advantage. We're for you and for college sports. Visit BUBruins.com.
Criminal, civil, personal. If you or a loved one is facing a lawsuit, let Williams Law represent you and your family today. With more than 20 years litigation experience in Nebraska, Williams Law will defend you with the dedication you deserve. If you're facing a DUI or if your son or daughter has been accused of a crime, Williams Law is here for you. Call 402-522-6317 to get a free, no obligation consultation and to get the representation you deserve today.
If your brand isn't generating you business, well, it's losing. That's where Sign Ovation steps in. We help Omaha businesses win the visibility game with bold storefront signs and vehicle decals that turn your ride into a rolling billboard. Your brand should be working, even when you're not. Driving impressions, creating leads, and bringing customers through the door. Stop riding the bench. Put your brand in the game. Visit omahasignsandwraps.com tonight. That's omahasignsandwraps.com. Sign Ovation, where brands show up and win. If your brand isn't generating you business, well, it's losing. That's where Sign Ovation steps in. We help Omaha businesses win the visibility game with bold storefront signs and vehicle decals that turn your ride into a rolling billboard. Your brand should be working, even when you're not. Driving impressions, creating leads, and bringing customers through the door. Stop riding the bench. Put your brand in the game. Visit omahasignsandwraps.com tonight. That's omahasignsandwraps.com. Sign Ovation, where brands show up and win.
Running a business means wearing multiple hats. So if you're like me, you probably started out using your personal phone, taking client calls and texts nonstop. As my business grew, I needed something smarter. That's when I switched to Quo, the #1 business phone system. Quo works right on your phone or computer. No carrying 2 phones, no clunky landline, just one easy app you can try for free. Your team can share one number and handle calls and texts together like a shared inbox. Any teammate can jump into the conversation, so customers get faster responses. And Quo's AI assistant summarizes your calls and responds to customers 24/7, so you never miss a lead or opportunity. All this starts at just $15 a month. That's basically 2 coffees. You can even keep your current business phone number. Find out why 90,000 businesses trust Quo. No missed calls, no missed customers. Try Quo for free at quo.com/sports. That's quo.com/sports to try Quo free. QUO.com/SPORTS.
You're listening to After Hours with Jimmy Allen on 1620 The Zone.
$7:30 on a Thursday night here on 1620 The Zone, brought to you by Bellevue
just
University.
being rebellion.
Bellevue.edu and sign up for classes today. John Walker from the Omaha World Herald joins us now on After Hours. John, good evening. How are you?
Hello. I am good. I'm a little sleepy. Got to bed late last night and woke up a little early. So, I'm good. I'm dragging a little bit at this point in the day, but we're hanging in there, guys.
Hey, are you
what the heck is up?
Are you picking up a check from 1620 these days? I feel like you're on every show at all times. You were on the pregame show
Dude,
last night.
I know. Yesterday, within the past 24 hours, within the past 36 hours,
4 appearances?
I was on Middays with Matt and did Blue Jay shoot around with Austin. And now I'm here talking to y'all. So, man, I might as well. I'll send y'all where to. I'll tell y'all where to send it.
We'll get the 1099 for you. Hey, obviously, last night didn't go the way that a lot of people around here wanted it to, but it went exactly the same way it went in Chicago with a 72-71 victory for DePaul. What was it about that second half that just Creighton didn't seem to be able to answer for you?
Yeah, and that's the crazy thing is we got the exact same place in 2 entirely different ways.
Yeah.
Because in the first meeting, as you guys know, DePaul from the jump said, we're going to go straight at you, and there's nothing you can do about it. And surprise, as we know 2 weeks later, there is nothing that the Jays could do about it. And for the first 20 minutes last night, they were terrific defensively. They pressed DePaul. They crashed the post to keep Benson from getting in a rhythm, and they were just active. The same pace that they had offensively, the same activity they had offensively a week ago against UConn is kind of what they brought to the defensive end. The problem is, guys, they only did that for 20 minutes because DePaul shot 57% overall and 67% from 3 in the second half. And it's largely because the Jays could not slow down Brandon Macklin, a guy who averages 10 a game, hadn't scored 20 all season, walks into CHI, has 2 points at halftime, and drops 19 in the second half. And then when Creighton finally had to adjust, it left the Jays vulnerable in other areas, but all of that led up to the end. And that was what Greg McDermott and Nick Graves and Josh Dix emphasized post-game was like, yes, the end happened, but that final play is not what lost them the game. And I would agree. Like, if you don't want to be in those end game situations, you can't let yourself be in those end game situations, right?
Yeah, we talked.
Go ahead.
Yeah, we talked to Huss after the game, and he brought up that play at the end of the game was designed for Blake Harper. Were you surprised to hear that?
Yeah, I was. And Max said the same thing in the post game. Max said that they don't really work on that play all too often, but that they executed it to perfection, is what he said.
I mean, he had a great look at it.
He got a great look at it. But it's just obviously such an intriguing decision that to not put the ball in the hands of Nick Graves or Josh Dix or Austin Swartz, guys who have delivered time and again, right? And not that Blake hasn't, but Blake hadn't scored all game. And so you put him in that situation, and obviously the ball bounced the way that it hadn't for Creighton. Like, the Jays had survived in so many nail biters, and they didn't last night. And the result, guys, is their first losing record. Not the first time they'll finish with a losing record. Their first losing record, period, since the 2014-15 season. Insane to say.
Okay, normally Jimmy's the conspiracy theory guy, but I got one for you here, John. All right. This season is actually about making UConn's loss to Creighton the worst loss that it could possibly be, to keep UConn off the one line. How do you like my conspiracy theory? What could I add to it?
Yeah. And if you really want to like rub salt in UConn's wound from losing to Creighton, like, the Jays are probably going to decide who gets the 1 seed in the Big East tournament, because after UConn split the season series with St. John's last night,
yeah, what was that?
It keeps going down the standing. So since they split the there's no head-to-head tiebreaker. It'll then go to their records against the next best team. I think St. John's plays Nova on Saturday. But let's assume St. John's wins that game, right? Well, then St. John's and UConn swept Nova. They will have both swept Seton Hall. So then who's the next best team? Who's fifth? Who's the next best common opponent? Right now, that would be Creighton. And St. John's obviously beat the Jays both times, and Creighton somehow stunned UConn 8 days ago. So yeah, isn't that crazy? Like, yeah, they're going to keep them off the 1 seed, maybe off the 1 line, maybe, and keep them from getting the 1 seed of the Big East tournament, maybe too.
Obviously, Creighton lost to DePaul last night. Both teams DePaul has 3 games left. Jays with just 2. Is there any concern for you that Creighton may be playing on Wednesday in the Garden?
Yeah, absolutely. Like, we'd be fools to think otherwise at this point, right? Like, they're absolutely on that verge. And that's obviously not what they had in mind. Mac talked on Monday about how they were still trying to chase the 4 seed, and how, even though they've had one of their worst years in over a decade, like, if they were chasing 4th place in the Big East, that wasn't all that bad. But like, for that statement to be true, which I agree with, like, you have to finish 4th in the Big East, right? Like, for that to come to fruition.
Right.
So yeah, I mean, if this team plays on Wednesday night at the Garden, it'd be like such a disappointment. Of course it would. This isn't what anybody expected, in October, and that's just kind of where we are now. So yeah, they could. There is a very realistic chance that they play Wednesday night at the Garden. Who knows what happens over the final week and a half of the regular season, but like, Providence is absolutely going to come into Omaha and try and put up a bazillion on Saturday. And Butler, as bad as they've been, played Creighton pretty tough in the first meeting, although that was forever ago. And obviously Butler wants to defend home court, as they usually try and do at Hinkle. So yeah, like, the last 2 games, albeit against some teams in the bottom of the Big East, are not going to be easy. And I think we've seen, how sporadic some of these matchups can be.
John, I think everybody at this point has just resigned themselves to the fact that the NCAA tournament is an absolute pipe dream for Creighton at this point. It is fallen completely off the table, out of the realm of reasonable possibility. But it's not out of the realm of possibilities. This team could be playing in the postseason in some format, whether that's the Crown or the NIT or something.
Mm-hmm.
Is this a team you think that is going to have the kind of juice that it takes, the kind of confidence, the kind of want to make any noise in any of those lesser than postseason competitions?
I would argue the Crown more so than the NIT.
Yeah.
And that's because, like,
you get paid,
there
brother.
are monetary stakes involved with going and winning the Crown, right?
Yeah.
And so, yeah, I mean, if you tell guys they get a few, like, imagine that situation for Josh Dix and Nick Graves. Like, you tell the two seniors on the team that they go get to play 3 extra games for X amount of money. Like, yeah, absolutely, they're doing that. But I think whether or not this team participates in whatever postseason, guys, depends on like what Creighton, like what Greg McDermott does, right? Like that's kind of the domino that has to fall this offseason, whether he's staying or whether he's going, because we saw last year, Iowa got picked for the Crown. They were going through a coaching change. They didn't want to have to play in the Crown and try and like restart the program. Not that Creighton would have to restart it because you have the advantage of the coach and waiting situation, but like I'm sure Alan Huss would want to put his fingerprints on the program if he took over, right?
Yeah.
So do you want to do that while also coaching the Crown? Like, I don't know. So yeah, those will be an interesting couple of weeks between the end of the Big East tournament and, you know, whenever the Crown starts April 1st, I think. Those will be a really interesting couple of weeks just to see what happens, and then obviously after that, away we go into the off season.
Well, I want to ask you about the Mac and Alan Huss thing because Field of 68 was reporting that there may be some interest in Greg McDermott at Arizona State if the Bobby Hurley thing doesn't work out, and if Mac is willing to do so. Obviously, Mac has a house in Arizona, so that's always going to be a rumor mill thing. Has been for years. But the weird thing is there was some rumors last night circling about Kansas State being interested in Alan Huss as well. Do you think that Huss is for sure sticking around if Mac comes back next year?
Yeah, I would think so. Like it didn't take much to get Alan Huss here, right? He left a really good situation at High Point, and he said that last summer. So like in some ways it did take a good amount, but at the end of the day, guys, like he is a Blue Jay through and through, right? And he only left the situation he was in and turned down other situations last offseason and took this one for this one. Like he went here, he knows what it means to be a part of this program and especially what it would mean to lead this program. And like, no, Kansas State or wherever cannot offer the, I'm sure, heartwarming nostalgia in the fact that Alan Huss met his wife at Creighton. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
like,
for sure.
That's how deep, how deeply Alan Huss is tied to Creighton. So, yeah, I mean, I talked to people last offseason who were firmly in the belief that Mac was sticking around for 2 years, which would mean through next season. And I would have to assume if the people that I talked to believe that, then Alan Huss also believed that when he stepped into the situation. But yeah, like who knows, guys? I think Kansas State has to make the call, right?
Yep, absolutely.
And I completely understand that. And I guess if you're Alan Huss, like, yeah, you probably pick up the phone and just hear them out. But that doesn't immediately mean he's leaving or this, that, and the other. Again, the same way I think about the Mac to Arizona State thing. Like, I would just be shocked. I would genuinely just be shocked. I would be shocked if Huss left. I would be shocked if Mac left and coached somewhere else. Like, I would just be shocked because nothing and no one other than, what we've heard over the past couple of days, has indicated that they both want to leave and or are leaving or what have you.
John, anybody on this team right now, outside of the guys, obviously, who are going to run out of eligibility that you don't see wanting to come back next year?
Yeah, I don't know. Like, I'm really interested to see what happens with Owen Freeman. Obviously, like, aren't we all,
Sure.
Like, it's very well documented what Creighton gave him to come to Creighton. There's no chance after the way this season went that you could, like, bring him back at the same price point, right? Like, there's just no way. I wouldn't think. And so then it's like, okay, like, does Owen want to be here? Would he do that? What does his agent say? What is his market and the portal? I was about to say free agency. I guess
it is.
Is, right? So yeah. Like that's a situation I'm really interested to see how it plays out, because I understand how like egregious this season and adversity ridden this season has been for Owen Freeman, right? We all understand that. So like, but portal centers are not cheap.
Mm-hmm.
And they're few and far between, right? So like, would it be, this is where like having a GM comes in handy and this, that, and the other. And here's where we start talking about things that we've never had to talk about in college athletics before. Would it be worth it to bring a guy you have back at a lower price point and hope that he gets better instead of trying to overpay and overspend for a guy you can't afford? I don't know. The answer to that is different from every program. But anyways, that's a big picture thing that we could talk about all day.
Sure.
I'm really interested to see what the Owen Freeman situation looks like. I think I wrote in a mailbag earlier this month that it feels like somebody on the wings has to leave between like Fedor and Hudson and Blake. Like they have Jaden Kuhn coming in. They're still very aggressively pursuing and firmly in the mix for Jackson Richardson. So I'm just like, oh, and you have Jason Green and Jackson McAndrew will be healthy. So it's like somebody in theory would have to go, right? On the wings.
Yeah.
Who is that? And then, I'm not really sure on the rest, to be completely honest.
Well, John, this is, in fact, my second to last time as a co-host on After Hours. So really have had a great time chatting with you over these last couple of years, getting to know you, having you on the show and discussing all the Blue Jay stuff. I'll still be around doing play-by-play, so I'll see you at various Creighton events. But it's just been awesome having you as a guest on the show during my time, man.
It's been a pleasure. It's been a pleasure, John. Sad to see you go. Love to watch you leave situation, but no, we'll miss you, man. It's been an absolute pleasure.
All right. Thanks a lot.
That's John Walker. You can catch him on Twitter at @ByJohnWalker or subscribe to Omaha.com or buy a newspaper. John, we appreciate it. I'll talk to you next week.
Thanks, guys.
If you missed John's segment, check it out on our radio replay page on 1620thezone.com. It was brought to you by Jerry Ryan Clothing and Sportswear. Just one home game left. If you want to be the best dressed Blue Jay at the Chai on Saturday, there's no better place to stop than 78th and Dodge. Try all the great brands. You know our personal favorite. It's the Johnny O Polo. If you're looking for a quarter zip, they have it from brands like Mizzen and Maine. Also, the new Horn Legend polos and hoodies are fantastic. Head over to Jerry Ryan Clothing and Sportswear. The best gear that has Billy Blue Jay on it is located at 78th and Dodge. They've been dressing Omaha for over 50 years. We give you our closing arguments on the other side of the break. 1620 Zone.
Hey Jays fans, it's hoop season and you know what that means. Jerry Ryan has the best selection in town for all things Creighton gear. Stop by Jerry Ryan at 78th and Dodge for your quarter zips in all shades of Jays blue, plus jackets, vests, winter coats, you name it. They have it. Multiple Jays options for men and women from Peter Millar, Cutter and Buck, and Johnny O. Stop by Jerry Ryan Clothing and dress like the coaches do.
At Jerry Ryan's, we bring out the best in you.
When you shop local, you help strengthen our community. So if you need roof repair, gutters, siding, even windows, call local Pyramid Contractors. They're the #1 roofer in Omaha for more than a dozen years. Let Pyramid Contractors come and give you a free estimate. Give them a call at 402-502-9300. That's 402-502-9300. Or visit them online at
PyramidRoof.com. Never settle for less.
Winter may slow pests down, but it's the perfect time to prepare your home for spring. Rodents, spiders, and other pests often show up indoors this time of year. A winter pest control checkup helps seal entry points now so you're not dealing with pests when warmer weather hits. At Recon Pest Services, we're proud to be a local company and supporting causes that make Omaha better. If you're looking for a pest control partner or even support for a cause, think Recon. Visit reconpestservices.com and get your home ready for a pest-free spring.
Ready to make a positive impact in a young boy's life? Join Big Brothers Big Sisters of the Midlands and become a mentor where you are matched up with a boy in the greater Omaha area. Over 50 boys are waiting for someone like you to guide and inspire them. Visit mentoromaha.org and sign up to make a difference in a boy's life. Don't wait. Make a lasting impact today.
The real game changer in college athletics, it's coaches. And at Bellevue University, there is an experienced team of coaches who know you both as an athlete and as a person. Plus, there are student coach advisors who are there to provide individualized academic support every step of the way as you progress towards your degree. At Bellevue University, you're not just another athlete. You belong. We're for you and for college sports. Visit BUBruins.com.
My name's Stephen Butler, and I own Controlled Comfort. And we've been in business for 6 decades. And in those 6 decades, I like to think that everything we do is about the art of comfort. It's about the skill of our people, but it's also about the integrity, because at the end of the day, I value my employees, so they value you. And that's really all this is about. If you get cold this winter, think about us. We'll come help you out. We'll get you out of bind. It'll be fair, it'll be fast, and it'll be the right price.
Control Comfort keeps it under control.
Omaha Mavericks Hockey hosts Miami of Ohio this weekend at Baxter Arena, and you can listen to all the action on News Talk 1290 Coil. It's UNO versus Miami of Ohio on your home for Mavericks Hockey, News Talk 1290 Coil.
I'm Omaha Athletic Director Adrian Dow, and I want to introduce you to 3 Omaha schools that are playing a vital role in keeping our community strong. We serve nearly 600 pre-K through 8th grade students, most of whom come from disadvantaged neighborhoods. These students receive a values-based education with the family support they need. I'm a proud member of the CUES Fund Board, which supports the CUES school system. To learn more, go to CUES Schools, that's CUES schools.org.
Creighton coverage on 1620 The Zone is powered by Chandler Conway, Nebraska personal injury lawyers you can trust. Injured in an accident? Visit chandlerconway.com for a free consultation. Don't face this challenge alone. That's chandlerconway.com.
Bring the outside in with an exclusive year-round sunroom from Remodel, Nebraska. Locally owned and operated, we design and build custom sunrooms, patio covers, decks, and more. Perfect for enjoying our changing seasons. Voted #1 Best of Omaha in sunrooms, our team turns your vision into reality. Remodel-ne.com.
Invite the outdoors in with the sunroom. Remodel, Nebraska.
I'm Doug Nodgard with Equitable Bank. We know your time matters, so when you call us, we answer on the very first ring. That's our promise to you. We value your business and will treat you like a friend and neighbor, because more than likely you are one. While other banks hide behind technology, we combine the best of both. Top-notch digital banking and online banking with people who care. Got a question or need help? We're just one ring away. At Equitable Bank, we take banking personally because you deserve it. Member FDIC.
Now back to After Hours with Jimmy Allen on 1620 The Zone.
Put a bow on the second hour here on 1620 The Zone. Jimmy Allen, John Schreiner, Dan Campinen with you tonight. It is time for our closing arguments, brought to you by Bob Williams of Williams Law. What we'll do here is all three of us will give you a hot take to wrap up the show. Put a poll up on Twitter. You'll vote for whoever had the best closing argument. Whoever receives the fewest votes will have the worst closing argument of the night and be kicked out by the jury. John Schreiner, what do you got?
Well, I'm going to be kicked out tomorrow no matter what. So
Sure.
doesn't matter. One of the things that came out of the meetings that Dan didn't ask us about today in Buy or Sell was the potential changes to the targeting rule that the NCAA is mulling over. Currently, players who are disqualified for targeting have to miss the rest of the game, and if the penalty happens in the second half, they miss the first half of the next game as well. That's how the targeting rule works currently.
Yeah.
Under the
Which
new
is stupid, by the way.
it sucks. Under the new rules, a player would be disqualified for targeting. They would not have to miss any of the next game. It would just apply to the current game.
Which makes sense.
If they were disqualified a second time during the season, then they would miss the first half of the next game.
Right.
And if they were disqualified a third time during the season, they would miss the entire next game. So this is the proposal is somewhat like a kind of yellow card, red card
Also
situation.
like more flagrant foul-esque.
Right. I still think that it doesn't necessarily solve the problem. I have long been a proponent of a true like yellow card, red card.
Oh, do you like soccer?
Situation when as it applies to targeting. I think you can be warned for the first time it happens in a game.
Sure.
You can say, you could even apply some sort of penalty, make them sit out the rest of the quarter, give them a window of game time, like a 5-minute penalty that they have to not play, whatever it is.
Bring the penalty box to football,
Right.
says John Schreiner.
And then if they're hit with the targeting penalty a second time during a game, then it's the red card. You're out. You missed this game and you missed the next game. That's how a red card works.
Sure.
Right? I think that seems like a reasonable way to go because targeting can happen accidentally.
Yeah.
Right? And yes, you need to be in control of your body.
Yeah.
Just like in hockey, you need to be in control of your stick. But you get a warning.
That doesn't just apply to hockey.
You get a warning with the yellow card that says you're not out.
The guy just got a warning.
You're not kicked out of this game yet, but if you do it again, you're gone. I think that's more in line with what I would like to see.
Yeah, we're going to punt on the closing arguments because I want to talk about this because I was going to save this for tomorrow, but now that we're on it, like the reason they did you're suspended for multiple games thing was to avoid people at the end of games.
Yes.
Intentionally targeting to, for whatever it's like.
For vengeance purposes.
Like, looking at you, Vontez Perfect.
Yeah.
But I think enough time has passed where it's understood, and I think the game is becoming smarter and technique is getting better and things like that, to where you can't punish the many for the few.
Right. But here's the thing. The thing with yellow card, red card is
it's unbiased.
At the referee's discretion, they could issue a straight red card and say, like, you did that on purpose.
Sure. And same thing with flagrant fouls. There's a flagrant 1, flagrant 2 in the NBA. There's intent.
Yeah.
And more of the times than not, you can identify intent. And even if you can't, you still leave it up to the decision maker's best interest to do so. So, hey, that's going to do it for the show tonight. If you missed any of it, check it out on our radio replay page on 1620thezone.com. It's brought to you by Bob Williams of Williams Law. Head over to williamslawllc.com tonight. If you're facing any kind of litigation, maybe your son or daughters found themselves in a little bit of hot water. Now they're facing a judge. Bob and his team will sit you down, explain your rights, and give you a free, no obligation legal consultation tonight. Head over to williamslawllc.com. Tell Bob and the team that After Hours sent you. For Dan Campion, John Schreiner, I've been Jimmy Allen. Happy National Chili Day, everybody.
No beans.
When you shop local, you help strengthen our community. So if you need roof repair, gutters, siding, even windows, call local Pyramid Contractors. They're the #1 roofer in Omaha for more than a dozen years. Let Pyramid Contractors come and give you a free estimate. Give them a call at 402-502-9300. That's 402-502-9300. Or visit them online at
PyramidRoof.com. Never settle for less.
If you're looking for an authentic Italian experience, look no further than Pasta Amore. For 4 decades, Pasta Amore has been keeping the spark alive for couples in the Omaha area with their homemade pasta, made fresh every day. Our hand-picked selection of exceptional wines will put the nightcap on your evening that you expect. Open every day at 4. Stop by Pasta Amore in Rockbrook Village and enjoy dining in a romantic dining room or relax on our shaded patio.
Life is unpredictable, with seasonal storms and plumbing issues hiding around every corner. You can't predict the future. So when life happens, go with a trusted, reputable company like Paul Davis Restoration. Fire, water, mold, or storm damage can all be restored by Paul Davis Restoration. Don't live in the aftermath of tragedy. Restore your home today. Call Paul Davis Restoration at 402-553-0373 today.
Winter may slow pests down, but it's the perfect time to prepare your home for spring. Rodents, spiders, and other pests often show up indoors this time of year. A winter pest control checkup helps seal entry points now so you're not dealing with pests when warmer weather hits. At Recon Pest Services, we're proud to be a local company and supporting causes that make Omaha better. If you're looking for a pest control partner or even support for a cause, think Recon. Visit reconpestservices.com and get your home ready for a pest-free spring.
Diet Coke Cherry is making a return, and Chesterman Coca-Cola is bringing the flavor back to Omaha. Find Diet Coke Cherry 12 packs right now.